Hey crafters, welcome into Guys Craft 2. My name is John and hope everyone is having an amazing Sunday, right? It's Sunday. Wow. Just seems like this weekend has flown by. So hope everyone's doing well, already packing and getting ready to go back to work tomorrow, which is just crazy to me. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. Yes, I have Snoopy on today. Hey, Donnell, thanks for joining. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about. If you had not um, watched my live or Danielle's live yesterday, where she was gracious enough to invite me on her channel, make sure that you do that. I provided the link below. There's several channels that I watch on a pretty regular basis. So those are below. If you're curious what channels I'm watching, that list will help tell you. So it has definitely been a crazy busy weekend. There's Julia. Hey, Julia. Thanks for joining today. Russ, thanks for tuning in. And good afternoon, Barb. See, in Phoenix time, it's only 4 o'clock. So we're still just finishing the afternoon, getting ready to start our evening here. So, how crazy is that? And thanks for tuning in today. So, yesterday, because Danielle kept me busy and made sure I focused, I was able to get all 15 squares stitched for the University of Louisville quilt that I'm working on as a Christmas gift. So now what I need to do is crisscross cut these, then sew them all again, and then work on finishing that. So I may do that a little bit today while we're on the live. Last night was Charlie and the Chocolate Factory at the Arizona Broadway Theater. It was pretty interesting. I don't like the Americanized version, of course, of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. They try to put some updates in it to make it more um, modern, I guess. So, TV Mike was really just glued to his telephone and things like that, which is fine. But apparently, in the American version, we decided um, the children die when they're bad. So, like the blueberry uh, Baruka blew up. It's like, really, it's a kids show. Why are we doing and going crazy? But that's what happens. So it is what it is. So one of the things I wanted to work on today and hopefully get accomplished was I did get the 15 squares done for the U of L. So I do need to get those cut. So I hope to do that and get those ironed open. And then I have everything now cut for the Marines. So I thought why we talked a little bit today, I would be able to sew and get those done. And what a struggle I still have with that. Everyone else seems to make it look so easy, but it's like it's really hard to keep focused on multiple projects while you're sewing. But we'll see how it goes today. So it is what it is at the end of the day. Oh, and I did not accomplish anything on the long arm like I had planned to, but I did find where Grace has put out a nice cheat sheet for folks with the Quilter's Creative Touch QCT software, which I do own. I did upgrade to the Pro Level 6, and they actually now have a kind of a step-by-step quick start guide. So I think that will hopefully help me. I did try to plan on working on that some this morning and ended up instead doing Microsoft updates and Microsoft updates and Microsoft updates. And then after I did that, it was time to do QCT updates and more QCT updates and then upgrade to version 6. So, anyways, I think the long arm is now technology ready. And so hopefully I will be able to work on one of those Christmas panels in the next week or so. I am just quilting those. Probably end up giving them to the kids or something, which is fine. I bought them because they were 40% off. So when they're 40% off, you can't beat that. And I wanted to have something that I could work on on the long arm to see how Gracie and I are going to get along. That always seems to be a challenge, but we'll get it all figured out. That said, if you tuned in last week, you realized that I never got all the squares done for this project that I was working on. And yet, on Danielle's channel yesterday, I was able to get all of these done. I do need to get them sorted on the bed now to figure out how I'm going to pair them up. So, how I'm going to make the 4 blocks with each of these. So, I'm kind of anxious to see what that's going to look like and how that will turn out. At the same time, this is the project that I thought I had everything done and then realized I was 10 short, couldn't find the materials, and then realized my life partner moved and rearranged stuff for me. So, anyways, we found the materials and now that is done. And pardon the back, I'm trying to make room for things to work on today with you all. All right, so let's see. I've ignored the chat way too long. So let's put the glasses on that John doesn't like to wear because he's still too vain. Um, so let's see. Danielle's here today. Beverly joined us today. Sue Ellen is here. Hey, from Minnesota. I feel like it's Minnesota here today. Our high was only like 63. This time of year, we should be in the upper 70s. So it's been crazy. Irish Sally is here. Good evening, John. Just finished eating dinner and corned beef and cabbage. How cool. Oh, yeah. Happy St. Patrick's Day. I should have had green on. Didn't even think about that. It's been just that kind of day. And corned beef and cabbage sounds amazing. We ended up, I had a pork roast that I really needed to finish up. So we had pork roast today with steamed broccoli and red potatoes. But corned beef and cabbage is so appropriate. We actually went to a restaurant, I think it was 2 years ago in Phoenix, and it was a church. And as part of their fundraiser every year, they sell corned beef and cabbage on St. Patrick's Day. So we did that a couple of years ago, but I don't know why I just let it kind of get by me this year. Dragonflies for Donna is here. Welcome in. Thank you. For all the new subscribers that we picked up over the weekend, welcome if you're on the live. If not, welcome on the repeat and rewatch. And we appreciate you joining. It means so much to us when you join our channel. And hopefully you enjoy some of the things that we're doing. Janae is here. Dragonflies. Hmm. Yeah. Dragon Donna says that the book itself was kind of dark compared to Willy Wonka. So I'll admit I never read the book, so I wasn't sure. But they had such a, because it's a dinner theater. They had the theater set up where you could go out, and they had like this candy land where you could actually walk up. Excuse me, with their logo backdrop with Wonka on it, and take pictures and that, which was really cool. So they did some fun things, but yeah, the darkness just killed me. All right, let's see. What else am I missing on the chat? Oh, Danielle says, so what happened with the boo boo blocks? The boo boo blocks now become an accent piece as part of the quilt overall. So I should have 12 blocks like this. And then I reversed this and did 12 other blocks. And then I have 2 other sets, and I don't have those in here. During Danielle's live yesterday, John was not paying attention. So, of course, John reversed these and stitched it with the blue polka dot outside and this inside. So what that means is I have 13 of the other blocks and only 11 of this block. So that'll be a part of our mystery quilt when it gets done. And the mystery will be who can find where that mistake is, because after I stitched all that, I just refused to rip it all back out because I consider it an accent. And that's the way John chose to personalize that quilt. So that works for John. Hey, Sally, welcome in. Thanks for joining this evening. And who else? So Terry's here. Welcome in, So Terry. All right, and I think I've caught up. Joydy's here. Thank you for joining. She was on, I know Danielle's yesterday We always enjoy hearing from her, and she always has some good positive feedback and comments. So that always makes it exciting. And Danielle says she loves that I have now decided to make it just an accent piece because it is what it is, and it's a Christmas gift for someone. No, this one actually, I don't know what I'm going to end up doing with it. It's the first time I've really done something like that. I'm really just trying to get some projects completed, and at the same time, still working on learning to hold that stupid quarter inch. I think I'm doing a lot better. I do love my Janome. Everything about my Janome has been good so far. I don't want to jinx it, so we're not going to talk too much about it because if she hears me talking about her, then it may be that we're going to struggle and have issues today. And I don't want to struggle and have issues today. So it is what it is. Hey, Sherry, thanks for joining all the way from Atlanta. We like that. Russ says that is what you call a happy accident. I believe that. I think that's just part of, being a quilter. It's funny, with the quilt club that I, belong to with that guild, it is amazing some of the gorgeous quilts and things that um, folks turn out. And then I look at some of their work, and, it's amazing to me what they decide they have to go back and rip out because it just, and it's like, man, I'm not looking for perfection in my quilts. At some point, I'll get there because I do want to enter shows. I do want to do some competitions and things like that. But long before I get there, I'm going to worry more about productivity and just having a good time. I'll probably stress over the first quilt that I decide that I'm working on for the quilt show. But our local quilt show now won't be back until 2026. So I have basically 2 years to get ready for that show. I really definitely would like to enter that show just because it's right here. It's part of our guild, part of the community. I do struggle with that show just because they interpret a beginner as someone who has never entered a show. So someone like me that's only been sewing for a year and a half, going on 2 years, has to compete against someone that may have been doing it for 30 or 40 years, but they get to go in as a novice because it's the first time they've won in a show. And that just doesn't feel right to me, but it is what it is. I didn't get to write the rules, and no one asked for my opinion, and no one asked me to vote on it. So it is what it is. All right, so let's see what's going on in the chat. Oh, so Terry says, what machine is behind you? So that is the Epic 2, and it is a pink and orange machine because this was the first year Viking released the Epic 2. So apparently, when they upgrade and come out with the new editions, like they just came out with Epic 3, they release a whole line that first year of some very unique colors. I bought it used from a lady that I know very well, so I knew exactly what that machine was like. In fact, I traded my Bernina 790 for that machine because I just hated everything about that Bernina 790. I love this machine. It stitches beautiful, but I've set it up mainly to do embroidery on because I fell in love with my Janome, and I really am happy with the Janome for piecing. So that was a long way to get to your answer. So Terry, sorry about that. That's just me. Anything about the skewed definition of a beginner? Jean says she agrees with me about the skewed explanation of a beginner. Yeah, it just seems not fair at the end of the day. And I mean, it's you're talking about a ribbon, right? So it's not like you're going to win, $1,000 or something like that. And it just it is what it is. I do want to get into some quilt shows. I do want to start um, preparing. So my thought is, I'll pick one quilt that's going to be my project for a year or so and really work on it. I don't want to enter a quilt show until I have perfected little Gracie back there, my long arm, because I do want to be able to say that I've done the quilt from start to finish, and I want to be able to do all of that. And so I will be waiting um, to get there. And you know what? There's no hurry. I still work full time. I still have a lot of other things going on, and at the same time, I want this to be fun and not something where I feel pressured. And hence why I'm working on two of the quilts that I'm working on because I know I want them to be Christmas gifts, and so I wanted to knock them out sooner rather than later. Um, we'll see. It may take a while before they get on the long arm, but that's okay. So the one thing I know for sure is I cannot do a live and do long arming, so that's not going to happen. Uh, and Russ made a comment. I always enjoy Russ's comments. Let's see what Russ had to say. Spoiler alert, I'm being conned into entering the East Cobb. Oh, look. And he says he's being conned into entering the East Cobb Guild show. But if you've seen the work that Russ does and some of the things that he has been showing off, he definitely needs to be in some of the quilt shows. He's definitely got the talent and the ability, and it will be exciting to see him in his first show. So always a good time. All right. Sherry says, "What Janome do you have? I love them too." So this Janome is the Memory Craft 6650. That's the one. Um, I just was fed up with my Juki. My Juki doesn't stitch the way it should. I've reached out to Juki. Juki ignores me and just doesn't answer my emails. I've taken it down to the shop. It stitches beautiful, but it's the first couple of stitches. It just puts big, huge knots in my fabric. And so I'm just tired of trying to fix it. I've turned the needle on down. I've changed threads. I've done everything. And even this floor model in the store does exactly the same thing. So I bought this used, this Janome Memory Craft, about about a month ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. And so far, I love everything about it. So it's like, yeah, that was the best decision that I have made. So I can't believe it. Yeah. So where is the East Cobb show? So Cobb County would be my guess down in Atlanta. So of course, Atlanta is so big and so all over the place. So Atlanta is just not Atlanta at the end of the day. And I very much enjoy going to the Southeast. This week, I have kind of a crazy work schedule. I have to do new hire orientation for a bunch of folks coming into our call center. I just have my regular job on top of that. And then we have tickets to go see Camelot, I think it is, here in the community Thursday night. Friday night, we have tickets down at the Phoenix Theater in Arizona so we can see the Carol King story. So anxious to see what that is and what that looks like. And then we will be heading north of Arizona on Sunday so we can take possession and get into our new park home on Monday. So a week from Monday, we should be new homeowners, and there's still a lot of work up there that we need to have done, but at least it'll be my property, it'll be in my name, and I'll have the keys to it. And so that's the first big step. Oh, so Russ says the quilt show that he is talking about is in Marietta. So, yeah, it's funny. Y'all just seem to have so much more on the East Coast. It's just, growing up on the East Coast, you just take so much for granted. And when you move out to the West Coast, you do find that it's just things are just different out here. There's not as many of some things like runs in the park and those type of things. We don't have near the setup and the support that they do in the East Coast, what I was used to at Virginia and some of those places. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, we still find enough to keep us busy, keep us occupied. So I am anxious to get these blocks completed so I can cut them open and see how this is going to look. I had no idea when I originally planned this. I had no idea what to go with, so that's why I ended up going with red because it just seemed to um, it just seemed like red was the best color to help make this dark fabric pop. Russ says that's because the West Coast is a few hours behind us. Yes, I tell you what. And here on the West Coast, we really wish you all would quit playing with the clocks. But we're not going to open that can of worms again. You all are used to your new times again by now. But I do like living in a state where I don't have to adjust my clocks. But it is funny because you have to look when you buy anything out here because, they have Eastern, Central, Mountain, Pacific, and then there's in most of the drop downs, there's one that says Arizona. And so we have to jump on the Arizona time because we're the only ones that don't um, play with our clocks. But again, it all comes out in the wash, doesn't it? So tonight, after I get done with my live, we've had dinner, we've relaxed, we're going to fix pretzel bites, and we're going to watch the Holdovers. So I think it's on. It's either on. I don't know. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Maybe on Netflix. I can't remember what channel. Unfortunately, we subscribe to I think every streaming service. So we will watch the Holdovers tonight. I still want to see Oppenheimer. That's in our queue to watch. You just got to be willing to give up 3.5 hours of your life to do it. I will not go to the theaters and see a movie that long. I just simply refuse to. I think it's ridiculous. So, but I do really want to see that. I like the story. I like what it's about. And so I really do want to see that. Russ says, don't get me started on clocks or the calendar or the letter C. All I'm and see, Russ, I can understand, and all I can remember is C is for cookie, or at least that's what the Cookie Monster taught me. So I'm not sure. All right, I think I am running out of bobbin. Yes, that would be the case. And so we need to do some ripping, and it looks like it's stitched, but it shouldn't have. Wow. Right. So we're going to change a bobbin, and we're going to do that while John is doing a live. I always try to make sure my machines are up and running, and everything's going to be just perfect when I'm on a live, because I don't want to say a bad word or do something I shouldn't do. Because Facebook does have police that watch each and everything that we do. But it is interesting. I think as quilters, we have our own language that we like to use sometimes. It just makes me feel better. It's why Curtis always goes, but you told me that quilting relaxes you. I don't know if it's relaxing or it's just a different challenge, right? It's not about necessarily so much the relaxation of it as it really is about being able to have that sense of accomplishment, have something that looks and makes sense for me. And I love giving homemade gifts. And so at the end of the day, when you're quilting, it is really nice to be able to bring back homemade gifts to folks. So, in this year, my niece will be here for Christmas. So that will make it even more special because we want to be able to open gifts with them because we don't always get the opportunity to do that. And so we will be sharing um, Christmas together this year. She's going home Christmas Day. She's actually flying out for my birthday and only staying a few days. But at the end, it'll still be fun. She'll still be here, and we will make that happen. All right, so let's find a new bobbin and see if John can do this. The worst thing about using pre-wound bobbins is you have to find where the end is. I tend to struggle with that as well. I guess I struggle with a lot of things. That must be what you all think sometimes. He always says he struggles with that. He struggles with this. So I'm not as bad maybe as I make myself out to be, but we'll see. All right, now supposedly that bobbin went right in like it's supposed to, and it is looking pretty. So let's see if we do a quick sample stitch, if it actually did. Are we really ready just to sew again? Huh, don't think so. Let's try one more time. Yes, perfect. All right, so now John has accomplished something new, right? He was able to change a bobbin in the middle of his life and not lose his cool and not go crazy. So that is all a good thing. So we do have some positive things happening tonight, which always makes it fun. Sally says, "We all struggle, John. It's part of the process." I agree. It's just sometimes, especially when I watch some of the women in our quilt guild when we all get together and sew and just watch some of the work that they do, how they put things together, how they piece. It's just fascinating. And I have to keep remembering, I'm the newbie, and, some of these folks have been doing this 40, 50 years, and we're just getting there. But we will all get there at some point, right? So I don't know. But I'm excited about the week ahead. I'm excited to close on the new place. I'm excited that I'm actually getting this project and the other project as Christmas gifts knocked out. So it's fun to see that. I would really like to find something cool to quilt these and not just quilt them with anything. So because this one is somewhat military, uh, I will try to see if I can't find something that would be uh, interest as far as just giving the quilt a little bit more personality. So I don't want to just do normal, squares and circles or whatever. So I do need to get on Urban Elements and see what Urban Elements has, because I'm not afraid to buy some designs if that's what it takes. But like I said, first thing I need to do is get the long arm fired up and get her working. She cost me a lot of money, not what she cost the previous owner, but any long arm is not cheap and it needs to earn its keep. And right now it's not. And so I can't just continue to let it sit there and ignore it, especially when I have like 15 unfinished projects that just need to um, be long armed and then the binding. So I am anxious to get those done. One of the things I did decide is I think I am going to take projects to the cabin to work on versus quilting and that. So something that I can do maybe close, if not start to finish, maybe close to it. I just got a new bag pattern from um, the Sewers Club, and it was really cute. So I would definitely like to do that. So I think I might take that up to the cabin to work on. Also, I've got I think I've got 3 months now of the Kona block of the month projects. So, needless to say, I'm way behind on those. But I thought again, those might be something that I could work on up there because if I can get caught up on the three, it won't be I'll only have one a month to work on. So, I think that might be a real opportunity to do that up there. and I'm kind of anxious to see how they come together. They have their own Facebook page that I've been watching. The Facebook page is really neat, and at the same time has some really nice examples and some education around how other folks are putting those together. So I definitely want to do that. And then I do want to. I bought the gnome um, die for the AccuQuilt. I have yet to put that in the machine and start working on that. So I definitely would like to work on a fall gnome project. Originally, it was funny because I did buy the Dutch girl and Dutch boy dies because that's just what I remember my grandmother always did. And I decided, hey, um, what if I did, bought that so I could do one similar to what my grandmother did years and years ago. And then they came out with the gnomes, and I was like, okay, so no, instead of Dutch boy, Dutch girl, I think I'll be doing um, the gnomes instead. And they came out with an accessory kit, uh, accessory die last year that actually put together the ponytails and that on the gnome. So I think I could really make a cute project out of that. All right, let me get back to the chat. Sorry, folks. That's the nice thing about having Curtis in here because Curtis chats for me. Um, Russ says you can spend days on elements. I believe it. I tell you, they have some beautiful things there. Donna says sounds like a lot of positivity happening. Thank you, Katrina. Good evening, Katrina. Thanks for joining. Oh, Irish Sally says, "What long arm do you have?" I have the Grace Unique 21, and I have the original Grace Unique 21 because I think they've got an Elite and an X and some other things. But mine is probably about 8 years old, maybe 6 years old. So I bought it from a lady in the community. It was interesting. Um, she was moving in out of her house here in the community into more of an apartment type. Um, Full service complex. So she's not in assisted living, but it is kind of like assisted living, I guess. At the end of the day, you own the apartment and that kind of stuff. But she's able to go down to the dining room for meals and different things, but yet still have a small kitchen. But there's no way she could have fit this crazy long arm in. So she was willing to sell it to me at a very good price. I was dying to have a long arm, and now I've allowed myself to be intimidated enough by it that I've only done one quilt on it, which turned out fine, but I just need to do it. And I know that from when we owned the embroidery business. Once you do it a couple of times, it starts falling together pretty easily, and you get the confidence, right? Because I know things are going to happen. Um, it's a machine, right? So something's going, but I need to quit letting it intimidate me and just go for it. And I have yet to do that. But today, really, I did have a mindset to do that, just hadn't been getting there. Trina says, I've been catching up on the Riley Blake Designer Challenge 2024. She has 4 blocks done. See, she has 4 blocks done, but she says 4 more to do to get caught up. All right. So that's the thing. So at least, if I get it done this year, at least I'm still in 2024 because the blocks just started coming in January. So it's not like I'm huge behind at the end of the day, but and it's been really fun because they've had some really cool colors. I think one month was orange, the peach and orange colors, and I think the other first month I think was purple, which for me is just awesome because I like all things purple. And so excited to do that one. And each one comes with a different pattern, so you don't even do the same pattern each month. So I think that would be fun too. Hey, Maureen, thanks for joining. Maureen's one of my faithful that always is on chat, always in the always has feedback for me when we post videos. So it's good to see you in a live today. She's probably thinking it's good to see you actually do a live. So we are trying to be more consistent. I do have to figure out next week what we're going to do on Sunday since we will be up at the new place and then a hotel. So we may do a short live. Just not sure yet. So I do have that to figure out. So because we do have we do still have other obligations and responsibilities. So I want to make sure that I honor both, but I want to make sure that I'm honoring you all as subscribers because I appreciate each and every one of you and the things that you bring to the table. So, with that said, that has been the biggest thing for us is just getting used to the support things that are out there. I know Curtis wants to work in the next week or so doing wreath boxes because we do deco mesh wreaths. He actually curates the box and puts together the or not the fabrics, but the deco mesh and ribbons and different things. And we sell those over on that website. I definitely want to do a new spring summer wreath for the new home. And I have no idea what that's going to look like. So we will be knocking that out. We did today, you all will be excited. We did send out our party invites, evites, for our first, which hopes to be annual Derby party. So we have Derby on our mind right now. I did get tons of roses in. They are sitting in the other room amongst all the stuff we bought for the new house. And I need to work on getting arrangements and that finished out. But we will have a hat contest for the folks that are in the come to the party. We are making mint juleps, of course, because you can't get more Kentucky than a mint julep. And we will be doing those. I actually found a recipe online where you can make mint juleps by the pitcher. Excuse me, pitcher. So we will be doing those, and then we're also. I have bourbon slush in the freezer actually left over from all our Christmas parties because normally bourbon slush for us is just something that we only make once a year. We make it for our Christmas party. We don't make it any other time. But since it is Derby and it is our Derby party, we are going to get the last bag of bourbon slush out. So that will be part of the party as well. And we're planning on putting together um, jackpots for folks so they can draw and hopefully pick the winning horse. So then we'll have little um, little money exchange hands. And when I say little, for us, a big thing would be $1, maybe $2 jackpot. We're not into the crazy, um, but we'll see how that turns out and how's that going. So I would be curious. So as I sit here and ramble on and actually get some stitching done today, what projects or things do you all have going? Maureen says she's glad that we're both live. Thank you, Maureen. It means a lot. And like I said, we appreciate each and every one of you that have subscribed to the channel. We started this about a year ago in August. Had no idea if we'd ever have any subscribers or any followers. Our main point in starting this channel was the fact that John has never sewed. John is terrified of sewing his finger in the needle. And so really had a hard time kind of getting my mind around that. But with that said, I am focused on really trying to put together some cool projects. I do need to quit buying quilt kits. I do need to quit buying subscription boxes, and I need to really get focused on what I already have in house. That seems easier said than done, but I am really trying to cut back. It has just been a free for all, it seems like. Danielle says she's back. She had to take a phone call, and she's making hexagon handbags. And if you, like I said, did not catch our live together yesterday on Danielle's channel, you should go over and take a look. She showed those hexagon handbags at the channel yesterday. She's got a new craft place that she's able to set up a booth in up there in Michigan. And so I know she's done craft shows and other things, but those hexagon bags are really cute. I I got suckered in by Russ yet again. He's not the best influence on me. He is a super nice guy, but he got this "Don't Run with Scissors" bag from Adam Sews, and it is an amazing bag. So yes, John had to go buy the pattern, so that's on the list. But I was like, it would be cool to have that take back and forth to the other house, and eventually, I'm hoping to find a quilting retreat to go to out here. I have not done that. I have done what we consider a retreat in the community, and we have a camp that meets once a month, and it meets. But the problem is, it meets on Thursday, all day Thursday, literally 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. Thursday, and then again on Friday. And the problem for me is, I'd have to take a vacation day, or depending on when it is, 2 vacation days, and I'm not sure that's where I want to be spending my vacation time because I'm still new and still trying to build up my banks of vacation time. So, but if I found the right retreat, I have been looking at the ones with, oh, my mind just went blank. But the sewing group, the sewing guys up in Vegas, because we're not that far from Vegas, so it might be cool to go up there and do a retreat. So we'll see. Russ says, "I'm innocent, I swear." I tell you what, he found such cool stuff at QuiltCon. And, if I had a little bit of restraint would help. But he did find some really cool things that I just had to go mimic. And then, not his fault, I guess, that Adam makes amazing buy Annie bags. So I did do that. Um, Sally says, two of my friends and I are making a bunny treat bags for our quilt guild meeting in April as a surprise. Oh, those would be really cute. Last year we made the carrots. I think it came out of Better Homes and Garden magazine. And then, but they were little fabric carrots with orange on the bottom with a green top. And I think we ended up tying them with green yarn because I bought some uh, raglan. I can't think of the name of it. Um, Rope, but it stunk. We got it at Dollar Tree, and I don't know what was wrong with it, so I didn't want to use it. But we did do that, and that was fun. But this year, they're not getting anything because I just didn't get to it this year, which is kind of sad because I know they all expect me to just bring it all the time, but sometimes you just can't. Russ also says I'm currently laying on the couch under a cat in doggo. There's just nothing better than cuddling with your pets on the sofa sometimes. And the funny thing is, we don't have pets. It's one of the things Curtis still wants and talks about because I don't think he had a dog growing up. Problem is, I've had dogs, children, and wives. And so I kind of like the fact that I have no responsibilities. I work full time. He works full time, but I don't have to worry about, okay, well, what time are we getting home? Did we let the dog out? How long has it been since we let the dog out? So at this point in our lives, we are not going to be a pet family. I did tell him when I retire, which is probably 8 to 10 years away, but when I do retire, that is something I have no problem. I just love. There's nothing like walking in a house and having your dog greet you. I mean, when you talk about unconditional love, that is what that is, right? I mean, we long to see our pets. Our pets are amazing. Our pets help keep us focused and take care of us. And so I definitely want pets again at some point. Oh, Sally says she's seen those carrots. They were really cute. I mean, they went over really well, and my grandkids loved them. We cheated and bought a few stuffed animals and that for the two grandchildren this year for Easter, and so that will have to be enough. And then maybe next year. It's funny. I had a really cute Easter banner quilt that I had done, more probably about the size of a lap quilt, and we had planned on taking that to my daughter. Instead, we sewed that on our Etsy store, and so, oh well, that money went back in the fabric fund, so she's not getting that Easter one this year. So But we will figure something out. She is the little princess, and she's always been spoiled, and she pretty much gets anything she wants, so that's not so bad. Danielle says she's a bad influence too. I tell you what, you got to be careful watching these people on YouTube. You learn so much, but then you find some other things. I will say Russ did help me out because I watch Cotton Cuts. I watch what everybody talks about with Cotton Cuts. But I'm not sure that I'm there yet. I'm really ready to do the mystery quilt. But I did order a sample mystery quilt that they will send out for free. So I'm going to see how well I do with that and how well my quarter inches look. And we'll go from there. If things look like it may work out for us and things would line up, I would probably look at doing a mystery quilt in 2025. So, and I also know that their colors choices and that sell out very quickly. So, I know a lot of folks are doing stuff with cotton cuts. I will just have to see if I end up joining that bandwagon. Can you imagine that there is a bandwagon out there that I have not already jumped on? But like I said, I'm really trying to be better this year. It just hadn't happened as fast as I thought it would. I think, because in my mind, I had planned to go to Road to California and ended up missing that and staying home. I keep thinking, okay, well, I saved this, I saved that, so now it's okay, and it really isn't okay. I mean, I have more than made up for what I would have spent at Road to California. But with that said, think about joining us in Phoenix next year. We are hoping to find a place that the YouTube family that comes out for QuiltCon can meet up, and maybe we can have a libation and just some general chat, and maybe even land in a class or two together. I have never been to QuiltCon, so I'm really excited, but very happy that it's coming to Phoenix again so quickly because I think it was just here a couple of years ago. But Phoenix does do a terrific job, I think, hosting those type of events. And of course, normally you couldn't beat the weather that is here in February. But this year, like I said, was a little bit colder than little colder than I like. I moved here to be warm. I don't want cold weather. In fact, it's funny where we're buying the new house. It was snowing yesterday, and I'm like, okay, see, it's already in the middle of March. The snow needs to be gone. Now I'm worried when we go next weekend if I'm going to have to deal with snow. And it's like, I really don't want to deal with snow next weekend. But we'll figure it out because I do need to get up there and get that going if I'm going to be able to manage anything. So that will be fun and will be also interesting. Oh, Russ says PMQs are fun and they're very easy. So I'm hoping that's the case. I think that's part of why I haven't started the Kona projects, that they're still in the box. Because, when it comes to triangles and that, I just still get um, a little intimidated. And I know if I want to get my quilting to the level that it needs to be, I'm going to have to start doing something more than just straight squares. But we'll get there. And I do like I do have a couple of Lord have mercy, Villa Rosa quilt kits that I want to get knocked out as well. That I bought because when they run specials and sales, you can't beat them. If you like Villa Rosa, they do a Facebook Live on Friday night, and they usually have some really good sales on there. I have purposely avoided those because I already have enough problems and weaknesses that I don't need to start joining their sales. And I think that So Yeah has one as well, I think, and that's the group I was trying to think of earlier up in Vegas. So I I'm well aware of what's out there. One of my YouTube family did tell me, you know, they unsubscribe to a lot of emails because it does just make you we are impulse buyers, some of us, especially me. And so if I don't see it, it's fine. It's not like I go on Missouri Star to see what they're selling, what they're doing. But yet, then I always end up with a big order from them once a month or so because I get an email and then realize what great stuff is in the email and how much I can save, and then have to add a little bit more to it so I can get the free shipping. And by the time I do all that, I've got a lot more stuff that I didn't even need. Who else? Let's see. Oh, Joydy says, "Me too, John. Plus, the PMQ starts this week from oh LQ. Join the fun. I'll have to look. For me, part of it is sometimes getting being able to jump on the channels when I need to, especially during the day. I work from home part of the time, so a lot of times I'm able to have a live playing in the background and pay some attention to it because a lot of folks do things during the day, and but that is something I do need to start getting better about. Danielle says puzzle mystery quilts are so much fun. She's doing her first one. So see, again, I need to get there, right? Um, Sally says you may get snow in April. Desert living, you never know. I know it's just so crazy to me. It's like I'm just not what I bought up there for. We bought to escape the 120 degrees in the summertime and have somewhere we could go on the weekends and still enjoy sitting outside in the screened-in porch, having a beer or a diet coke or whatever might bring our fancy that day, but that is probably about it. Russ says, I just don't open the emails, just don't ask how much I'm spending with Stephanie Stitches on Shoreline. Right? I saw that the other day when you all were talking about it. And Stephanie and Shannon, they do so beautiful things, right? Just crazy. Sally says, so yeah, yes, in Vegas, they're terrific. Excellent customer service. I will admit, I don't think I've bought the first thing from them. So I do need to look at them. I do watch their channel. I do think they're a bunch of cool cats, right? Do you remember that term? So we'll see. All right. Well, folks, yeah, Joydy says to a small one from Cotton Cuts. That's why I got the sample, just so I could kind of get into the rhythm and see if it makes sense for me and if it's something I want to focus on now or when. And I think probably for me, if it's something I do like and think I can accomplish, I'll look at jumping in on their next one. But I'm not going to rush into anything anymore. I'm trying to really cut back. But folks, we are coming up on an hour. I have actually tonight completed every one of my marine blocks. So now I have those along with the Louisville ones that I need to get cut and then ironed out and then be able to start putting them back through it. Joydy said Danielle's helping her get through it. So that's good to know. Danielle has just become my new bestie. So I know she's willing to help. And I know there are plenty of other YouTubers out there that are more than willing to help. Danielle says, I'm doing the small one. I do mine strictly on my channel. Have a wonderful night, everyone. So, folks, I do appreciate you joining in. It really means a lot that I get to spend a little time with you. I get to chat and that. And until next time, happy crafting.